What's happening, guys? Kenny here again, and today I've got another hype versus reality video for you guys. And today it's gonna be about this little guy. That's right, guys. If you read the thumbnail, you know this is gonna be about the Native 5 Lightweight. This is the Salt series with LC200N steel that is essentially corrosion proof, which, I mean, you know, they can't say rust proof, but it's highly stain resistant. And I mean, you would have to literally leave this in salt water for weeks on end to get any type of corrosion, and it would be very minor probably. So yeah, I was really excited about getting this guy, and it was my first native as well, so I was really excited about that. In saying that, we are going to go ahead and go into the hype versus reality. For those of you that have not watched these videos before, I will be doing specs first, some size comparisons, and then I'll go into the hype, which will be pretty much whether it's the hype from the manufacturer, the community, other knife reviewers, or, you know, a personal hype, you know, or even distributor hype. So I'll go into the hype first, and then we'll go into the reality. And when I got this guy out of box and used it, did it live up to all the hype? And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So we'll go ahead and put the specs on the page right here. I don't want to waste you guys' time and spew off a bunch of numbers, so I'll just put that on the page, and then we'll bring you guys right back, and we'll do some size comparisons. Sorry about the colors, guys. You can see the lighting's a little funky. So we'll start off with some Spydercos. Go ahead and bring in my modified Shaman. That is the Spyderco Shaman, the Blade HQ exclusive. Those are some custom dyed scales there. And then the Pair 3, this is the Crewwear Smooth G10 version. As you can see, the Pair 3 is a good size comparison for the Native. A little bit longer overall length, but same blade length. So we'll go ahead and get the Shaman out, bring in a Chaparral, which is another one that kind of battles for the pocket with the Native. So the Chaparral lightweight there. And then I'll go ahead and bring in some other knives. Go ahead and bring in a Benchmade Nakamura. Very similar size knife without a choil. Go ahead and bring in the Kaiser Mini Sheepdog. I use this as kind of a fifth pocket knife, so these are other fifth pocket knives that kind of fight for the pocket space. And go ahead and bring in a Kershaw Atmos. Really, pretty much the same size, guys, just slightly longer. Let's see. One more just for good measure. My brand new Keen, guys. As you guys saw, I just did this review, and this is my version right here. You guys saw Banner 24/7s with the groove. I got the portals. I'll be doing some modifications to it. That'll be coming up soon. Alright, guys, now I'm gonna go right into the hype. Yeah, the Native 5 does have a lot of hype surrounding it, or the Native in general. The Native was released in 1997. I believe, I want to say it was like VG10. I can't remember what the blade steel was. But yeah, I think it came out originally as a G10 version with liners. They still do have a G10 version with liners. I would love to try one of those. I have not yet. But yeah, so the Native does have a lot of hype surrounding it as just a great like EDC knife. It's a great EDC size with a 3-inch blade. You're looking at pretty much legal in a lot of areas. And that's just a nice touch, just a 3-inch blade straight up. It's not like 3 1/8 or something, and then you're out of your legal zone. So that was one thing, just a good size EDC. Also, everything I hear about it, it was a great workman's knife, just like, you know, throw it in your bag and don't worry about it type of knife. With the back lock, that definitely supports that. And LC200N, guys, yeah, that definitely supports that as well. So LC200N was a good choice for steel in this template in the Native. And then, yeah, it's a small knife from what I heard, yet still hand filling. Like, even though that it is in a small compared to like a knife like even the, you know, PM2 or something like that. It's a small knife, but it's still, you know, it's very hand filling and very capable knife from what I heard. You know, 4-inch handle, so pretty short handle, and blade with 3 inches. I mean, you're looking at about a 7-inch overall knife. Actually, it's under. I think it's like 6.875. Let's see. Yeah, so just under 7 inches. This is actually lined up, guys. You're looking at you're at a weird angle here, so yeah, you can see there. It is pretty lined up. It's just under 7 inches, and you know, 2.5 ounce weight, which is great. This is just a nice all-around EDC knife size and everything. So that was really a lot of the hype, and then just being a great work knife, just being a great all-around EDC knife, and just dependable. So that was kind of the hype surrounding it. I know the G10 version is much different than this FRN version, so I can't really attest to the hype on the G10 version since I've never handled one or used one. So yeah, but in saying that, we'll go ahead and get into the reality when I got this guy out of box. Yeah, guys, I was pretty impressed. I mean, just first things first, the fit and finish. You know, it's a FRN backlock, guys. We're not looking for a whole lot here. I will say that compared to like Seki City FRN, it's different, guys. It does have more of a plasticky feel, just a little bit, where the other ones feel a little bit more like that nylon. It just feels a little softer, I guess, in the FRN. But this one's crisper. Everything's crisper on this FRN. It's got crisper lines in the cutouts. Very similar bidirectional, bidirectional milling here. So, you know, but you can see just the Spyderco, just the Spyder is very crisp. The way they polish the back lock is really nice. The polish on the blade was really nice as far as finish goes. It's got like a satin, pretty much machine satin look to it. Really nice, and the laser etch on the LC200N was a little bit like, see in different shades there, it kind of disappears. It's got a really cool look to it, to the laser etch. So that's a nice touch. You see the Spyder, everything does. All the laser etching kind of changes in the lighting, which is different from other Spydercos. So, oops, sorry guys. So that was nice. It was pretty much centered, slightly off. Backlocks always tend to be kind of like back and forth. As far as the fit, guys, I mean, like I said, it's a backlock. There's not a lot. So the centering was a little off. It's a little tight, but it would drop free when I first got it. As soon as you release the lock bar, it would drop. Now, over time, it did loosen, I felt like. It dropped free nicely, but there was a little bit of play. Right now, I did just tighten the pivot. And, I mean, there's ever so slightly a little ounce of play if you go back and forth, like side to side. You can get it to move slightly, but it's not bad. And now I do have to just you know, like knock it down. Just give it a little swing, come down to your finger, closes nicely. Not really a fidget knife, guys, as you well know. Some other backlocks are a little more fun to play with. This one's not in the slightest really a fidget knife. But in saying that, I can Spidey flick it. I can thumb flick it with both hands for the most part. So, yeah, it's not bad. Spidey flicking, yeah, it's a little stiff for the Spidey flick on the left hand. But yeah, so that's really nice, guys. Action's just what you expect from a backlock. As far as, like, in conclusion, the fit and finish is just, it's so-so. The one thing I'll say, guys, is when I got it, it's a little weird that everything's kind of chrome here, and then, or not chrome, but just polished finish satin, and then your hardware is all black. It's pretty much like a black coating on there. Now, I do know that I believe they did this for electrolysis, where if you have stainless steel touching an aluminum or something like that, or stainless steel touching a titanium, when you get corrosion seems to like focus on those points where the two metals touch. So if you have aluminum touching steel, you'll have corrosion start right there, and they'll actually seize up. So on a lot of boats, we would use coatings to prevent that from happening. Now, actually on all boats I worked on, we pretty much used that, where any stainless steel screws were touching aluminum plates or anything like that. Now, in this case, I don't really understand, because when I put a magnet on any of the hardware, it seems to stick. So I don't know if that's because of the metal behind it. I did not take this knife apart, so I didn't actually touch the screws to the magnet to know if these are titanium or not. I could not find any literature saying that the hardware is titanium. If it is, I could see them using like the coating to try and stop electrolysis. Otherwise, I'm kind of surprised they didn't use titanium here. Why didn't they use a titanium clip, titanium hardware? This clip is definitely stainless steel with a coating. I'm not really sure. If this is a salt series and you really wanted to go all out and make it full rust proof, why didn't they use titanium hardware? I'm a little surprised on that. Even a titanium back spacer for that matter. I mean backlock. But this is steel. Everything is steel other than, I think everything's steel, to be honest. Like I said, I didn't take the screws out to really test them. But yeah, overall, really nice, guys. Now, I'll get into the use of the knife, and this is where it really sets it apart. Let me grab my calipers, guys. This knife, this blade is ground really well. I think I did a video where you guys did see this already. I think it was the behind the edge thickness video. That was live, my first live video. That was interesting and fun. I want to do another one soon. We'll see. 19 thousandths, guys. 18. Okay, so 18 thousandths at the heel there. 17. 17 right there. And then, let's see, hold on. As we get out to the tip. 18. 18. So pretty much 17 and 18 all the way across the blade. Between 17 and 18 thousandths at the shoulder. That's really nice, guys. That's really nice. And this thing did slice very well. And I'll go ahead and put some footage of that on the screen now. And yeah, guys, we're talking about a freaking, this is a 3-inch blade. You lose a lot of cutting edge from the choil. You're probably looking at about 2.5 inches of cutting edge. It really slices well, guys, and it performed excellently. for the size of the blade, for the size of the handle. This is a knife that if you just want a worker, you just want something to pull out and it's going to cut, just a great knife, guys. Ground very well, has a very strong tip. When I bring you guys back, I'll show you more of the blade grind and how that's done, and then I'll also show you the handle and ergonomics. Ergonomically, guys, this is actually a much more hand-filling and comfortable knife than I expected. The FRN does have a little bit of a sharpness to it because of all the crisp lines and everything. It does have a little bit of a sharpness to it, but that's not necessarily a horrible thing. And even though it feels a little sharp, just in like first impressions, as in use, you really rarely feel the sharpness of the handle scales at all. And it did just feel comfortable in hand and kind of disappear. The edges of the handle are a little sharp as well, but I didn't really notice that in use. But what I did notice is the LC200N just performing like a beast, as I have already experienced with the Spidey Chef. LC200N just continues to surprise me and just bewilder me, because you're looking at a pretty much stainless, like stain-proof steel essentially. It's really just kind of a steel that you just throw in your bag and don't worry about. If it gets lemon juice on it, if it gets anything acidic, you really don't have to worry about it. I mean, you can rinse it off and it'll definitely not rust, but it's not going to rust anyways, guys. And it's just a really amazing steel, because with being so rust proof in that way, it's also just performs on levels with I want to say, S35, S30, on like M390 in a lot of cases, with the heat treats being done by production companies out there right now. But yeah, it performs up there, like with the other steels like XHP and stuff like that, but being pretty much rust proof, which is just super, super amazing, guys. It's really just a steel that continues to surprise me. I'm going to bring you guys back now. Let me show you something, guys. I did sharpen this guy up. He was hair whittling, like, I can't remember if I have a video. I'll put it here if I do. But it was hair whittling. I did put this thing to some serious use, guys, and it is still wicked sharp. Still hair shaving, guys. I don't know if you see that. Still hair shaving. A little bit more of a scrape shave, but still really impressive considering all the use I put it through. This is copy paper, receipt paper, so it's even thinner. Really just slices through that paper easily, bites right in. And even to the finger, it feels very sticky. Or not very sticky, but still pretty sticky, which is really impressive, guys. I'm super impressed by that because I put it to work, guys. I put a lot of use on this blade already. You guys can see the distal tapering. It does distal taper pretty aggressively, but because of the swedge, it keeps a lot of that thickness even to the tip. The tip is relatively thick, even compared to, like, let's show you a pair of 3. See, the pair of 3 comes to even a finer tip. So pair of 3 has thicker stock, comes to a finer tip, is a little more aggressive distal tapering. So yeah, strong blade, guys, very capable. It does have this bit of a clip point, is what you would call that. It's nice that it doesn't have a thumb ramp. If this thing had a thumb ramp like a pair of 3, I think it would jam your hands up really bad. Even a lot of people complain about this jamming you up. It doesn't really bother me, but it is something to think about. Whereas this one just has a flat spine. Really comfortable, guys. You can put your thumb wherever you want. You can choke up here, and it's very nice. If you need to get to the tip, it's very easy to get to that tip and be very controlled in your cutting. Also, even back here, again, guys, I will stipulate my hands are medium to large size hand. I got a 3 3/4 inch broadness of my palm with a 4-inch height. which is more of a medium size, whereas this is more of a large size, thick fingers too. And then this distance from the base of my thumb to the tip of my finger is like 6 1/4 to 6 1/2. So that's another, you know, measurement that I feel is necessary to kind of understand the hand filling aspect. But yeah, it's like, as you guys can see, if I'm back here, it just barely fits, but just right. And even back here, I didn't notice a lot of control and just very comfortable. You're a little bit further from the blade, so there is a little bit of that element of, like, you know, like, feel like you're telescopic or something. But once you step up here, guys, that is just super comfortable, very easy to work with. You know, there's nothing here to be objectionable. Just very nice, very nice. Again, a little bit sharp on the FRN, like when you feel it, it just feels a little plasticky and sharp. But other than that, it's very hand filling. The way that they come up really square on the handle actually fills the hand really nicely. And this is much more comfortable than I thought it was going to be when I got it. I was kind of like, man, these are blocky. I thought I was going to hate it. I didn't, guys. It actually was really nice. Really nice ergonomics. So, surprised by that. Next, I'm going to talk about the carry. It did carry really well. I used it in the 5th pocket, and it fits really nicely. A 4-inch handle, and you can see that much is sticking out. It doesn't really bother me that much, but I don't really use lanyards, even though this is kind of like my hike / I'm at the ocean knife, so I will put a lanyard on it if I'm going like kayaking or something, and this is my knife. I will put a lanyard on it. That's why I kept it yellow as well instead of dyeing it. But yeah, nice knife, guys. Really impressed by that. Carry is great. 2.5 ounces is excellent. I don't have my scale right here, so but you guys can trust it. 2.5. It's really light. If it's even close to that, and it is, it's just so light, easy to carry. 3-inch blade, 2.5 ounce weight. Can't complain about that. Really nicely done, guys. And I really don't have a lot to say bad about this knife. It does not have anything inside, like there's no phosphor bronze washers or anything. It's just the steel against the FRN, which is not amazing. It's not that smooth. If you want to compare it to something like this is a much more like fun knife to mess with. Much smoother, guys. It's got phosphor bronze washers. It's got steel liners. It's so smooth compared to this knife. But I know a lot of people have, have a problem with that lock bar because it is thin. But this one's much broader and it's much easier on the finger. But in that way, it's not as smooth. So I kind of wish it had what the Chaparral has. But obviously, then it wouldn't be as stain resistant. So yeah, it is what it is, guys. And this is a knife that you can pretty much just throw in your pocket. And, like, don't even worry about it. I could throw this across the street into a puddle and come back 2 weeks later and pick it up and just put it right to work. The fact that it doesn't have liners and all that just helps that fact. And this is just a great work knife, guys. And I would suggest it to everybody. Anyone who needs a knife that to just throw in your truck or, throw in the bottom of your bag and never worry about. Excellent in that way. I would like to try a G10 version just because I'd like to see what that's all about. I do love this. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again soon. Have a great day.